Welcome to Actually Controller, the podcast that is actually Controller, and we are actually in control of everything you are hearing right now. I'm so very sorry.
So there's a, and I don't know the name of the individual, but I think the band name was Tracing Oceans.
Okay.
That sounds familiar.
That band name sounds.
It's because they're local to us. Their lead singer was that guy. He performed really well, but he couldn't interact with the audience because of social anxiety and because of that. But he loved getting out. I mean, you could see him with his friends. Great dude. The whole band was great people. I loved being able to be on a show with them. But he had to focus on just his peer group in order to perform because he had a succinct set of people that would come to his shows, and if they weren't there, he wasn't able to perform. He literally was not able to perform.
Gotcha.
So it actually exists. So
and I'm not,
like I said, for me, like there's a whole like I
used to
have to
throw
get
up
into
before
like
every show, man.
There has been numerous times that, and this was even when we weren't in the band together.
Yeah.
We were just playing a show together.
Yeah, it would be.
I would have a moment where one of our mutual friends, where's Jeff at? Did he go check the crapper? He's probably puking before the set.
Yeah,
dude.
That was me.
My 5'2" guitarist. I won't mention his name. Same dude. He'll
Obviously, if you can't tell, that's not me.
He'll get some ridiculous hiccups.
Yeah,
and sometimes in the middle of a show, he does get like a gag reflex. He has vomited. He'll get a gag reflex, and a lot of times, even at O'Sullivan's, and I'm going to mention it because
we're about to be there soon. That'll be after this episode.
One of our favorite,
this episode will be after that.
When we're done performing, he ducks outside. He cannot handle all that. Like it just overwhelms him.
I totally sympathize with that.
When he watch
Jeff,
this, so when he performs, he won't look at you.
Oh, I know. He always looks up.
Oh, he caught it.
Yeah, I already know that. I've known he's always looked up.
That's now you know why.
Yeah,
you know why. But he loves performing, and so to me, like that's. I love being able to interact, but I'm sitting on my throne. Throne.
With
the occasionally standing on the kick.
You also have.
I might stand on my throne.
You also have all that equipment between.
But
you
I get
and
it.
The crowd,
yeah. So I do have a barrier. Good point. But I get to see people in like completely different than what you guys do because I don't have to like focus on individual. Everything I do is like as long as I have my strength, I can see.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I love.
Right.
That's nice.
Well, yeah, and I mean, with him and I, it brings it up a little bit different, and even with Bob and everything, we're kind of put into a situation, and I think that at least it helps with me, though I don't. Performing isn't like my end-all, be-all. It's not like I don't have a fun time where I can still get off of the stage when I'm not stuck to my pedal board. I can get off the stage and I can go run out, have fun and everything like that. And that's kind of his bag. That's always been his bag. Chad's bag has always been to
get out, do a little wander while I play a song.
I can't do that.
I can't either.
I got to get you a keytar.
I don't really want a guitar.
Yeah, we've been down this road before.
I know.
Well, and then on top of that, I can't do...
with the keytar.
I can't do as much with the guitar as I can with the keyboard.
But that's also why I get on my drums. And
right.
And I did that. I watched a band. We opened for a band from Vegas. Won't mention the name, but big dude, probably 260, 270. And when he did it, I'm like, I want to do that. I
can do that.
I want to do that. I want to do that. Yeah. And then
he didn't fall or break nothing.
For the first year, I fell about 5 times. There was one time I literally thought I was going to impale myself on my hi-hat.
Yeah, guess what you should not do?
Yeah.
We can avoid that.
My floor tom gave way, and the way I fell was like I hit my hi-hat, and like probably 3 inches more to my left, I probably would have like ruptured my spleen or something. It's like, we're going to figure this out. And that's what I learned. Like I could actually stand on my kick drum because I used to put...
we talked about that. You wore off your tom.
So I could face people. I'd put one foot on my... throne and one on my floor tom. Well, that didn't work.
Yeah, but it did for a minute until you broke
the kick drum did ridiculous. I've seen singers jump off kick drums, so I'm like, I'm just gonna start doing that.
Yep.
Until I collapse my kick drum next time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I already gave him a little bit of a fear actually the other day about that.
Don't crash into that. You're
so Jeffrey.
Let's wrap up this episode.
Thank you so much for coming out and figuring out why we started.
We got a big old time clock here. Look at us.
I know.
Keeping us on task. We still got about 10, 15 minutes for you, buddy.
All right.
We
fine.
really don't, but it's fine. I'll edit it down.
So I guess what started it.
No,
I was like
we
should I start now or should I wait?
No, we go.
Okay. Because like if you guys are still going, I don't want to interrupt. Okay.
Stall. Just
Okay,
what?
so
Jeffrey, what got you into live performances?
So when I was young, actually, there was this channel on regular television because we were poorer than dirt, and it was channel 45, The Box.
Wait, is that like Farmer 5 poor?
Yeah, it was like you had to call in and pay them to play the song that you wanted to hear. Otherwise, it was just a jukebox of different.
Yeah, it was a
things.
screaming like scroll list of different music videos that they actually had available that you could call in.
Yeah.
And it was all by punch dial. You called the phone number. It was like an 800 number. You call the phone number. You give the credit card info over the phone,
Yeah.
and then you had to make sure the 3-digit number that was associated with that music video.
I don't remember
you
that
punched
either,
it in,
so.
Channel 45.
and that music video would end up going into the queue.
Was this was not FM? This was
No, this was regular
on
TV
regular
broadcast.
No.
Yes, on
Yeah.
regular television
Yeah,
broadcast.
Where'd
here
you
in the
grow
Fort
up?
Wayne area, you had the 5 stations, and you had Box on
Yeah,
channel
on the
45
Box
for
on
a little
45. I was like 12 years old.
We had Farmer 5, and that like included like 2 stations from South Bend.
No, 45 was there if you would have gone
Yeah,
searching for
channel 45.
it. So
Wow, I
You
didn't know
had
about
15,
it either.
21,
Nice.
33, 39, 45,
So
and
as-
55.
as any kid
46.
growing up in that
We never
era,
had 46 here.
Hallelujah! Sorry. What?
You're good. As any kid growing up in that era, there was, the usuals on there, Metallica and Judas Priest and like Ministry and whatnot. But it wasn't until I saw Suicidal Tendencies, You Can't Bring Me Down, that I like that particular video showed one of their concerts. And that concert was like the first time I saw like a really wild pit going. And I was watching the guitar player. See, because, okay, the other thing, too, is it's like fairly like late 80s, early 90s, right? And I hadn't seen any, like, okay, I don't know, just so that you guys aren't aware, I am kind of tan in comparison to most people that I grew up around. So I hadn't really
Wait till
seen
summer.
too many people who play guitar that were tan like me. And in that video, I don't know if he was actually playing or if it was just a shot of somebody with a guitar that looked like they were, but I was like, that dude. So I wanted to learn how to play guitar. So I went to a couple places in town, one of which doesn't exist anymore, so it might clear to say.
Pretty much any of the shops that were
Okay.
back then
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
exist
yeah.
anymore.
So I went to this place called Tri-State, and I
Thanks,
told them that I
Sweetwater.
wanted to
Tri-State
learn.
was a good one.
I wanted to learn how to play guitar, and they kind of eyeballed my left hand. But I was born with a funny left hand, and they kind of told me, yeah, it's seriously funny.
No.
They basically told me that I wouldn't really be able to learn how to do it because of that, and so I gave up on the dream pretty quickly after that because they were showing me how I didn't have the ability to play guitar. So I was like, all right, well, I guess that's not for me. And then as time went on, I still wanted to perform. I still wanted to do the thing. I was jealous, I'm like, man, I really wish I could learn how to play guitar or something. And then I came across this band, 9 Inch Nails.
Yep.
Who?
9 Inch Nails. And a lot aside from 9 Inch Nails, I also
Not
got
to be confused
into
with 6-inch nails.
Fiona Apple
Yep.
as well as Tori Amos really heavily. And so now watching what they were doing and realizing, hey, they're getting those same distorted feeds. They're a little more chaos, and I kind of dig that out of keyboards and so on. Maybe I should go into that. So I went to go learn how, again, back to Tri-State, to try to learn how to play piano. And they said the same thing, and like, yo, your left hand, you're not going to be able to do this. I ended up hanging with this guy named Gordon, who was a... I think he did music with one of the Methodist churches here in town, and
I think you're right.
And I was hanging out up at IHOP, just hating life,
Was it IHOP or Omega? I thought it was Omega.
No, you're right. It was Omega at the time. Well, it actually at that time it might have still been Azar's Big Boy.
Big Boy.
Yeah. So and he noticed, and I talked to him before we had like sat down and had coffee.
It's like rest in peace to all of those.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to know how old we are? How long we've been doing this? Every place we mention no longer exists anymore.
At least here.
He was the one that told me that I just needed to Hendrix it out. He's like, if there's something you can't do with your left hand, make that your thing. And I was like, okay. And when he told me to Hendrix it out, then I got heavy into like a lot of music that I had no. I mean, my parents are really old, so like I knew everything that there was to know about like old German polka and like Lawrence Welk and whatnot, but I didn't have, anything that drew me in. But yeah, if it really came down to like the full blown, like what influenced me into music though,
performance
specifically.
Yeah. Music is a whole separate thing.
Yeah, so now you're getting into music, but what inspired you to actually take this to a stage and be like, I'm going to do this in front of a couple people?
Once I started,
or a couple hundred people, or whoever says, "Screw it, I'm going to show up."
Once I started actually playing,
I'm waiting for my Uber.
First real band, and it's funny because I learned. I took the time to learn how to play music, and then ended up being a singer. So I wasn't playing any instrument.
Yeah, you actually spent more time as a singer for years.
Yeah, I was a singer.
Any type of keyboardist or anything.
I
did not know this.
Oh
yeah, no, he was a lead.
You guys have mentioned that group. So I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, like I've only ever been a keyboardist in one other group, and that was with
the irony.
with Mob 9.
So when are you going to learn drums so I can be a singer?
I mean,
Sorry, Bob.
I got you. I can like program.
No, remember we figured all that out the other day about how the one YouTuber does all that stuff one-handed. So what's your excuse?
Yeah,
because I can program. What's his excuse? He don't got a computer. It's like the year 2023. What are you doing in the like archaic age? You slum.
As he sits next to the
I mean, that's fine.
Drummer.
Like, look, the guy that plays drums for real.
That's all
this is a skill that he's harvested over time. What's that dude's excuse? Anyway, I love you. By the way, I'm not saying that outright.
Harvested.
Just saying.
Well, we just got.
You said you lived in the country.
He played drums at the cornfield, so he harvested his skills.
You lived in the country, so I used the word
so
harvest.
He harvested his skills. That's how that works.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, pretty much it sounds like for the most part, it's not that any of us had one specific pathway, but it's not like there is also any clear pathway for any of us that led us to the stage. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, you, regardless of if it would have been for music or not, you would have ended up finding a way to be a performer in a live application.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I got to be real. When, like, real quick. When I consider all the things that I could be doing with my life, throwing a kick-ass party, pardon my French, I'm sorry, throwing an awesome party and having people, like, come hang out and enjoy themselves and walk away with stories. That sounds like the best job ever. So that's like the biggest influence for me is like my job is to make sure you have an awesome time. And that's super
awesome,
cool.
memorable time. And yeah, and I will give you that. That is, if I have to say why I continue to perform, that would probably be the thing.
Most of us will agree it's like connecting with people.
Yeah.
Even if it's one
that,
or
that energy transfer.
It's just like it's knowing that what you're doing like as a creative is like somebody appreciates that or
there's a connection.
Like they're coming to support you as a friend, but there are a lot of people who don't know you're coming to support you because the creative aspect and that energy, like you said, the energy transfer is like it's just different.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, on the tour, other than our hometown show, it's not like a single person. Well, maybe a couple people. Mm-hmm. At any of those dates, though, maybe a couple knew who we were and maybe had heard a few of our songs. But for the most part, any connections that we got that was a transfer of energy off of any of those shows, that was all genuine. That had no friendship attachment to it. That was what we were doing connected with somebody else on a whole different level than just a hey, how's it going handshake.
And I think that's why I was kind of bawling when we were leaving, because I'm like, they all.
Oh, that was stop.
But it is. It's a. It's like a fulfillment. Like it really
is.
They talk about like the show come down. It's like being a weekend warrior. Like when Sunday, Monday rolls around, and you're just like, oh, now what? Like you're back to your life. You're back to your 9 to 5.
It's real weird too when you have those moments where it's like the night was so good you feel like you're standing on top of the world, and then the very next day it's like, how do I fit back into this?
The very next day, crap! I forgot I need to pay the gas bill.
How do you fit back into the skin that you once lived in? And it's like you're just jonesing for that next moment. You know?
It becomes it does become addiction. It does like, and again, that's for me personally. That's why I'm in 5 bands. It's not because
he's constantly chasing.
How do you
the high.
do it? Why do you? I want to play drums.
He's chasing the high.
I don't care if it's
music was
100 people or one. Yeah. So, and in our area, that's just not. I don't want to be a gun for hire. I don't. First of all, I'm not comfortable enough as a drummer to just get behind a kit and like fake it.
No.
Right.
I like to be prepared. I like to know what's happening, but
you agree he's not good enough? Is that what you're saying?
No. I would. The mentality.
Really, Chad? Man, wow. Way to be a good jerk. God, no, you're not.
No, like, I'll tell you, even
he's trying to start smack.
No, even this. No, I'm agreeing with him.
Like it's the mentality of getting into that. It's like I could see
with
where you.
I can't jam. I cannot sit behind a drum set and just like flow, and I don't know if it's. I would say I joke about ADHD.
Pretty damn good.
I don't know about that. I've flowed along,
but I can't just sit back there and do it. Like we spent almost 2 hours. Mm-hmm. We literally spent 45 minutes so I can come up with a drum fill for
30 seconds.
30 seconds of music. I can't just sit back there and be like, let's go, and just go. Like, I gotta, like, there's a lot of method to what I do.
Okay, for real, there are very few people that can outright do that successfully good more than, 16 measures. After 16 measures, there's this natural want to break.
I just get nervous.
And it's hard to
performance
decide.
anxiety.
I do. I do. For me as a drummer, it's more like at the very basic level of what I do, I gotta keep time.
Right.
Well, I can't just start jamming and just because there's a lot. You've seen the aha moments where I'm keeping time. Oh,
I know.
Let's do this.
Yep.
And then I get excited. And it's let's work on this for another 25 minutes because my hands aren't doing what I want them to do. And that's the thing with jamming. I can't.
But the beautiful part is, at least with this project, you can't attest to the other ones. This one though, we give room for those moments in the writing.
Well, I mean, like I said, 2 hours to we didn't technically even finish the song because
it's okay.
You're trusting me to come up with more parts for next week,
and that's fine.
Because the ending to me, the ending. Oh,
yeah. It's close.
Sweet.
Yeah.
He's so close, and he's just not happy with it.
Can we just say we're going to show you the way eventually when we're actually getting this out? Because the tour in September is actually going to be in promotion of the EP that song is on.
Whee!
So
buy all our stuff.
Yeah.
So we got a timeline. Let's see. Studio in May.
Yeah, we will be in the studio in May to record the material for 3 of the 4 EPs, because by then one of them will be out to you. And the other 3 will be getting recorded at that point, and all of the post work that's tedious and not fun to watch or have to sit there and do because it just takes forever, but it's what has to happen to make everything sound all pretty for you.
So stick around, because all this new stuff we're actually talking about performing, we're going to perform. And,
yes.
And our last show, we did perform 4 new ones.
Yes.
Yes.
If you want to count Clarity, because it's my drumming.
And that is another song that will be on the EP that we will be touring
in
September.
Now.
Yeah,
which is out now.
That is technically the first single off of the EP.
Clarity as a single.
That's me trying to be a Contrøller drummer.
It's not trying.
You did fabulous.
Guess what? You overachieved, and now you're stuck for the next 2 years.
I really can. I cannot wait to hear what people think of Control Yourself, because that pushed all of you all. That pushed. Oh, I'm so proud of that one. Just because I know how challenging it was for all of us.
Yeah, that was definitely a not fully outside of the realm of Contrøller, but it was things that Contrøller has done
It's a bit
in
heavier.
sparse little bits here and there.
It's a bit.
in other
That's
songs.
why we perform.
Yeah.
That's why we perform.
So, yeah, either way, it was one of those. I'm glad that we all got to the point of wanting to perform, so that way this project can exist.
The why do you perform? Because I like seeing
We-
people
we
run around in
create,
circles and hitting
Therefore,
each
we
other.
have to present.
Yeah, I have a compulsion to create, and therefore this band has a compulsion to perform.
I think I'm kind of cursed with music, and they keep getting told that I don't need to write songs. But I have new songs that I've been writing this
It's
last
not a
week
curse.
and this week upcoming. And
It is because I've been in the boat with him in the past where he has songs that have deadlines that don't get met in the past
because I'm
he's
writing another song and it needs to be written right now. Because if you don't capture it when it's happening,
Wasn't-
then you don't capture it.
Isn't that kind of how the updated
Yeah.
Visions went?
Yes, actually, it is.
I'm going
As
to
a
point at
matter of
Chad.
fact.
If you're not
Don't
watching,
point at
I'm
me.
literally pointing at Chad.
Yeah, legitimately,
How many times?
I'm
No.
not the only one.
How many times do we come back?
Thank
Visions,
you.
Chad. What do you got? He's like,
Thank
oh,
you.
I'm still kind of flushing it. I don't know.
Thank you.
Brr, 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 brr. All right, next
Wait,
week,
there
Chad.
we
How's
go.
Visions coming? Well, I kind of got this
I kind of
riff.
rewrote.
How many different versions? Even
See
for
this?
me,
Uh,
See
how many
this?
different
He's
versions?
vouching
For
for
Visions
my
3,
side.
there
Yeah.
was probably
2 or 3 at
5
least.
See how
different.
Oh,
Do you see how Steve's stressed right now? It's because Chris is vouching for my position
no, it
right
happens.
now.
it happens.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate
And
you.
isn't that technically Visions is already supposed to be a rewrite? It was
no.
Oh, it's
Visions
like
is-
fresh. Okay,
it's
all right.
fresh.
My bad.
So
Yeah.
since Chris
Retake-
called it, we have like 2 more albums that are going to get added on top of this.
Now everybody thinks that the freeze just that was some equipment error. No, that was a fear, like a full sheer panic that just set in there.
I will
really
remind
do
you,
have
I-
enough songs to do that.
But
though.
I am in 5 bands, and that's
Yeah.
We could be in like 12 more.
oh my god.
So, yeah, this episode has ran way too long.
That clock didn't do its job.
No.
Yeah. What are you doing, clock?
Man,
Yeah.
we're disappointed.
But-
so this episode was brought to you by the number 5.
Oh, we're going back to all that. That
Sip of
hasn't
cream.
happened since like episode 2.
Oh,
Sip of
right.
Yeah.
cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. my bad.
But yeah, the hope is that you enjoy when we perform.
I was trying to wrap it up a few minutes
Yeah.
ago. By the way, that's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I
I know.
coming back to the whole.
But yeah, the
We
hope is that-
create,
yeah.
therefore we perform. But
Oh yeah.
But hopefully you enjoy the performance, because if that's not enjoyable, we're really just kind of dropping the ball on this whole thing.
Sorry.
to watch me monkey on my drums,
He has tons of tricks he does.
I bounce around a lot, and
dude.
I punch my keyboard a lot.
And I try when I'm not stuck to my pedal board or my microphone.
I accidentally smacked the vocalist with the headstock of my bass on the last one.
Come watch Chad give Bob a black eye sometime.
Look, you know. But to be fair, like when you're in it, you have this space on stage. If he comes walking into your space, it's Armageddon, man. Like
Truly.
we're going down. Like we're throwing down. It's like punches, you
Yep.
know.
Well, you get in that
Well-
moment. You get in that zen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we just had a camera go on us. That's a cue.
That's
We're
a cue.
done.
Love you
I
guys.
don't know which one.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Actually Contrøller. If you liked what you heard, please consider following us on all our socials. You can easily find us on all the different platforms by going to linktree/Contrøller33 or scan the QR code if you are watching the video version of this episode. Thank you.